you care. Now, our conversation this morning is simple. And I say simple because people have found ways and means of getting some, gadgets, items for their homes. Now, in many homes, the use of second-hand electrical appliances abound. Now, this is because many people find it as affordable, cheap, for their pocket. But since November 2nd, 2022, the Energy Commission has placed a ban on the importation of some electrical appliances, which of course includes television sets, washing machines, computers, electric kettles, microwave ovens, refrigerators, incandescent lamps, and many, many, many more. Now, this has not gone down well with dealers of the appliances, and they've been talking about the situation. Take a listen to this news desk report put together by Mona Lisa Frimpong.
Yes, second-hand stores have dominated trading along major streets of Kumasi. Evans Ohenese Senya is Ashanti Regional Chairman of the concerned Home Use Dealers Association.
It is
the most common business here. It will be woeful if the ban takes effect.
He fears the ban will render many jobless.
There are no jobs. I have employed university graduates and senior high school leavers.
All right, so those were thoughts of some of the dealers. In fact, that was the chairman who spoke to Mona Lisa Frimpong. Although there are raising concerns about, the ban, the Energy Commission is standing its ground, saying that these second-hand appliances, they cause harm to the environment, they present health hazards, and they also drain the pockets of people who buy these second-hand appliances. So what they're saying is that these appliances does not meet the regulated or the required standards. So when you buy a second-hand product, what happens is that it consumes more power, more energy, and that's how come they're saying that it has negative effects on your pocket. Are you someone who buys second-hand products? Your television that you're using at home, is it a brand new one, or it's a second-hand television? The microwave you're using in your home, the kettle you're using in your home, the refrigerator you're using in your home, the television you're using in your home, is it a brand new one, or they are home use, or as we call them, second-hand appliances? Now, what do you make of this ban? How is it going to affect your pocket? Because to a large extent, many people argue and say that they cannot buy the brand new ones on the market. So how is this going to impact your pocket? What do you make of the ban on the second-hand electrical appliances? Now, to help us with the conversation this morning, my guests are already seated, and you'll be hearing from Mr. Amponsa Obri Yeboah, who is Assistant Treasurer, Kumasi Home Use Dealers Association. You'll be hearing from Abdul Malik Aziz, who is also Deputy Secretary for the Home Use Dealers Association. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Also with us in the studios of Love 99.5 is Dr. K. Frimpong. He's Director, Middle Belt Directorate, Ghana Standards Authority. Charlie Boss, good morning to you too.
Good morning.
So let's hear from you, your thoughts as well. Share them with us on 05511119995. That's our WhatsApp number. What do you make of the ban on these second-hand electrical appliances? 05511119995. If there's any question you want to address for you, well, the panel here will address that question for you. Let me start off with you, Dr. Frimpong. Help us appreciate the idea behind the ban on these second-hand electrical appliances.
All right. Thank you very much. And once again, good morning, and then good morning to our cherished listeners.
And of course, viewers, because we're live on Facebook and LUV 99.5 as well. Yeah.
So good morning to all. I bring greetings from Ghana Standards Authority. I don't know, but the way we should go straight to the point. I'm going to be very technical, because that's what...
Don't be technical, because we need to appreciate the situation on hand.
I'll bring the technical point, then meet the...
Okay, let's hear
on the way.
Let's hear you.
So from Ghana Standards Authority, we are mandated by our laws to do three major activities. That's standardization, metrology, and then conformity assessment. As I mentioned, standardization, the topic in hand falls in two of them. That's the standardization and conformity assessment. So we write the standards, and then we also promote the standard. We also coordinate standardization activities in the country, outside and outside. So we are talking about ban of electrical second-hand appliances. First of all, I will say that they are not manufactured in Ghana. We all know they are not manufactured. So it means that the manufacturer manufactured the product over there new, and as it manufactured it, it was tested against the standard. When we say the standard, we have the product standard. So it could be the fridge standard, that's the product standard. It could be the microwave standard, it could be the TV standard. And every product, once you are manufactured, you are tested against the standard, and you are supposed to meet the quality and then the safety requirement of the standards. These are the two things, the quality and the safety requirement of the standards. So as they are manufactured and they are released, they meet the standard. They are used in their homes over there. So as it's being used, at times there's what we call, it could be defects or even the lifespan of the product. So this product, as it's being used, it could be that it's getting to the lifespan of it, or it could also be that there are defects along the way. For instance, let's take the fridge. The fridge, for instance, you take the fridge, you see that there's, when you close the fridge, there's when you open it, there's a lining.
That rubber-like thing.
Like the cars and those things over there. If the fridge is new and it's very functioning and it's functioning properly, you see that when you close it and you stand by the door, you don't feel any chill or coolness coming out. But the moment that lining is wearing off, there's some leakages. So the coolness has to be inside to keep your products for you. Some will find their way coming out. And that tells you that what is not energy efficient. And when that happens, it goes against your life or all those things. It has a whole link to do with it. Another one is the microwave. The moment you close the microwave door and you are feeling heat coming, even though the microwave is not technically we say it's not ionizing radiation, it's a non-ionizing radiation. So in that case it won't cause, but there's some amount of heat that will come out. And this amount of heat can also worry the body. In that case also the effectiveness or the energy that we are trying to, all of us, guard against will not be what we expect. So you see that these appliances that we are using, if they are new or if they are being used by the instructions, they will live for their time. So looking at all this, with the safety aspect, the quality aspect, then the LI came in. So once the LI came in, we have to be enforced. And the LI came in through the Energy Commission Act. And it has to be enforced. And we at Ghana Standards Authority, when the product comes at the port, we have our people, our men at the port, that's the DI, Destination Inspectors. So they have to then sample these products before they are cleared by customs. We sample these products to our laboratories and then we test them against the standard. Unfortunately, we don't have a standard for second-hand because that's not the intention of like what we are doing at Standards Authority. We want the thing to meet the standard. So we can't say that we have to beat down the standard for the product to pass. No. If it's a product which is fridge or television or microwave, it's a standard that we write. You don't write the standard that the thing should be second, so we have to beat it down. And the standard means that you have to get the minimum requirement. So once the product comes and is tested and it meets the standard requirement, we release. If it comes and doesn't meet, it will be confiscated or it will be rejected. So
let me take our listeners through the list, the 19 items that have been banned in terms of the second-hand dealers operation. So we're talking about air conditioners, we're talking about comfort fans, we're talking about computers, we're talking about distribution transformer, we're talking about electric kettle, Electric kettle is very much used in many homes. The second one, electric motor, incandescent lamp, industrial fan, inverters, metal, halide, lamp, microwave ovens. Again, many homes use the second-hand ones. Monitor, I don't know which one is the monitor. Refrigerating appliance, rice cookers, set-top box, solar panel, televisions, ventilating fans, washing machines, water heaters. These are the 19, or let me say 20 list of electrical appliances that has been banned. Now, you're saying that when the importer brings in these products, you guys go in there and then you check for the quality, the standards that is supposed to meet. Now, when you look at the second-hand products, would you say that all of the things that they import, all of it, do not meet the standards? I ask this question because sometimes you look at some of the things that they bring in and they will tell you that, oh, this is a store reject, for example. And if it's a store reject, it means that it was produced or manufactured at the same time as the ones that they are using in Europe. And maybe so small dent somewhere, that's why they have classified it as a store reject. Can these ones be accepted?
Okay, thank you. You see, you said store reject.
Yeah.
So it tells you it's a reject.
But it's nothing electrical. It could be just a dent or something that is not that, serious.
So such products, when they come, you subject them to what? The standard. The test of the standard. We have the laboratories by the help of MIDA and other. We have this AC, well-equipped, world-class lab in Accra. Most of these tests are done in Accra. So the product comes, is sampled, and it goes to what? The laboratory. And the laboratory, the technicians will then subject this appliance to the requirement of the standards. It will be tested. Once it's tested, it could be the physical parameters, it could be the whatever has to be connected to machines that has to read. If it passes, yes, it will be declared as passing. But if it doesn't pass, in this case, then it doesn't meet the standard. And that it means we cannot release the product to you to go and sell.
So, Obiya, tell me, how do you guys feel about this whole thing?
Well, let me first greet your panel and greet the whole country. Most my guys in the same work with us. We will take it as a sad, and I don't know, with this economic crisis that we are in, it's a shocking news for us. It's a strong shocking news for us. But we never thought it was going to happen this way.
But if you listen carefully to the concerns raised by the Energy Commission and the Ghana Standards Authority, don't they have a point? The fact that we import these second-hand electrical appliances into our system, and it has health hazards that it presents, has environmental hazards that it presents. Don't you appreciate what they're trying to do to save us?
We wouldn't say we don't appreciate, but the only thing we would say, the words they used was Ghana being a dumping site for us. That was the phrase they used. And two, it also has a hazardous effects on us. Well, let me bring this to an. Do you know most of our stars, let's say the televisions, we have 2020, 2021 models coming in.
That is why I tried to ask about the storage rejects and all that, but you go on.
You know that. And most of them that comes into, we don't have any problem with it. It can come in a brand new box. A brand new box, which we have tagged it as a used one. We have our criteria from different angle relating to the used items that we are saying now. It's hurting us. He said, my brother said, microwave issues, having some kind of radiative heat that will come out. But when you take the microwave, the brand new and the used one have the same heat that will come out. So making the microwave as an issue, have it a question mark. Because he made reference to, and with the fridge too. Do you know the fridge is not allowed, the fridge cabinet is not allowed to come, or the whole fridge is not allowed to come, but the motor is allowed to come.
Why is it so? Dr. Eboa? I'm asking the question, why is it so? If the whole fridge in itself
It's not allowed to come.
has been banned from being brought in as second-hand, how come the motor is being brought in or allowed to come in?
That's why I said it's based by product base. So you check based on the product that is coming.
No, but if we're talking about second-hand products that have been banned, a refrigerator is part of the 1920 lists. The refrigerator will come down with a motor. And we're saying we're banning it because it's already been used. So in that same regard, can't these same motors that he's talking about be used, be second-hand? Some of them come in as second-hand indeed.
But the fridge has other compartments aside the motor. And we are talking about more of what energy consumption. So if the thing is not very efficient, the energy consumption was what be a question in
so these motors that are coming in, do they meet the standards that is required?
So the moment the motor comes and it's tested and it's working,
do these motors meet the standards required?
I don't have the data over here, but once the product is released, it tells you that it's been tested and it meets the standard. But for the fridge, it's not only the motor. You are not only testing the motor. You are testing the motor, you are testing the heating component, whatever, electrical, everything by the standard. So it could be that the motor is working, but the other parts
are not working. But let me ask this question of you, Obriabua. Are you aware that in 2005, for example, Ghana began the enforcement of the minimum energy, performance?
Yeah.
And also needs to have the labels on them. Yeah. Will you say that these refrigerators, these electrical appliances that come in, they meet these requirements, these standards?
You see, let me take you to UK. When we are loading container, we have the Energy Commission and the Standard Board. If it's not passed and tested, they wouldn't even allow you to even load the container. Because when you go to the yard for the staffs, they will accept, we pay for it. We will pay for it for the.
You pay for what exactly?
For the Energy Commission and the Standard Board to test the appliances first. Because if you don't have those passed and tested tag on all the containers, the single one that even you leave out, you will query for it.
Are you saying that everything that you bring in are tested? Because I will not lie to you on radio. In fact, I will not lie to you ever. Not necessarily on radio.
You see?
But you go out there, you want to buy some of these second-hand appliances. Especially when they have been brought from the harbour and the container is open. You are the dealers in it. You know that if it has been tested by you, the price is different. If it has not been tested by you, the price is equally different. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
So, which means that some of these things come in and they are not tested. Because there are people, you buy some of these second appliances, you buy and realize that, Charlie, the thing is not even working.
The whole issue is, it depends on the kind of stuff. Because based on the 2005 survey that they did and they made that law, you see, comparing 2005 and 2000, you let me take it at 2005 to 2020. I'm limiting myself to 2020. You see, based on technology-wise, we've enhanced more. Initial survey that they did during that time, you see, that time we were having that Etkopo
television,
and we had that big fridge with fan and other stuff. But you can't tell me that currently refrigerators that are coming in, most of them are inverters. When it comes to the television too, first we had that fluorescent bulb. They made it in a smaller size. But now we have the LEDs, the LED lights that we're having here. That's the type that we are using in the television, which does not drain and is much energy efficient.
Abdulaziz, I can see you really want to say something. What's running through your mind?
Thank you a lot. My problem is, before Energy Commission passed this law, in fact, there are certain things which I would say they did not help us at all, because we, the stakeholders, at least there should have been a certain meeting. This and that.
Did they meet with you?
At all.
Are you sure? Are you part of GUTA?
They met with Guta.
You're members of Guta. No, but you're part of Guta, aren't you?
Yeah.
So once they meet,
that's our mothers.
So if they meet with the leadership of Guta, can I say that they've met with you second list?
Let me take it from there.
Okay.
They met with Guta. That was on the 16th of October 2001. 6th October rather 2001. So when they met, they said they've made a survey on 203 that the appliances consumes, like they said, Azarios, and
consumes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Thereby, the person who buys it will spend much more money in paying electricity and all that. Of course, Ghana would also have to generate more electricity.
Yeah, and that one, it was true. During that 2023 that they made the survey, it was true. And why is it that they are using that survey for a number of years against this current system? Because that item that they used during that time. The items are not even, most of them are not even in the system. So if you want to emphasize on that, why is it that you will not make another survey covering those items that are in the system, so that we know all of us will get the survey very clear? Because at that time, like my friend said, there was Atikopo, and even these TVs were not in the system. And apart from that, they advanced to the wooden ones, and from that one to LCDs, to plasma, and from plasma to LCD, and even from LCD to now LED, those that we've been using. So if there will be any survey, in fact, they should have used the current ones, so that.
So when they met with Guta and you were not satisfied, what action did you guys take?
The meeting did not succeed because of
they said it was
argument.
conclusive. That's why I couldn't.
No. There was no conclusion.
There was no conclusion.
There was no conclusion. And even
they adjourned the meeting, and they told us they will meet us back, meaning they will go for another survey so that everything will be clear. And we cannot argue with them. They are doing their job. And if they come up with a survey which is very much clear, we also accept. But when they went, you never get them back. So all we hear that the law has been taken to Parliament for the Parliament to pass it.
That is the 2003 one. The survey that they did in 2003.
Yeah.
That is what is being implemented now.
Yeah. So we made a press conference. That was 25th. I forgot the date, but it was last year. We made a press conference and they did not answer us. So later we heard it from, was it UTV, that the law has been passed. So we went for another press conference, and that was early last year, January.
Why don't you write to the Energy Commission?
In fact,
holding a press conference, you are addressing the general public. Why don't you approach the
requested, and they told us they will meet us. That's what they said.
Hold on for me. Let me go to the phone lines and speak to Mr. Hubert Zan, and he's Assistant Manager, Energy Efficiency Regulation with the Energy Commission. Mr. Hubert Zan, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, and good morning to your listeners.
I'll try to reach you. We'll talk about that one after the conversation. But I have some second-hand dealers, members with me in the studios of Love 99.5. Mr. Zan, what they are saying is that there was not much consultation, and that this ban on the importation of second-hand, electrical appliances will not wash now, because the first test or survey was done in 2003. They agreed that during the time the refrigerators and the television sets that they were bringing in, they don't meet the standards. But as we speak, they have improved upon the things that they bring down, and therefore this ban is not needed according to them. So first of all, have you engaged well enough to them, and do you think it is prudent to use a 2003 survey to apply now?
Okay, so thank you very much, and good morning to the members in your studio. I think just for the purpose of education and also to your cherished listeners, what we have done is nothing new. And of course, we keep on hearing that we are using a 2003 survey to be able to make a justification. That is also because these regulations that we are passing is nothing new. It started way back in 2005 when we came up with standards and labeling for air conditioners. In 2009, we passed the same regulations for refrigerators. I'm sure you will see these yellow labels on fridges and AC when you go to town. Obviously, this was the regulation that allowed us to be able to do that. In 2008, we also banned the importation of used fridges and used air conditioners that were obsolete. Now, you realize that what we were doing was in phases. We started with these appliances, and now we are in the second phase of enforcement. And enforcement meaning that we are adding up to the regulations. And so as far back as 2005, dealers of these products were aware that we will get to a stage where more appliances will be added onto these regulations that we have set the minimum performance standards for. So in terms of awareness, we started creating it from the first day. The first regulation was passed on standards and labeling. Now, what have we done that is different? As far as Energy Commission is concerned, technology is also taking place. And as a regulator, you don't need to sit down and let technology be far ahead of you. And so we engage GUTA and its members because we are not able to tell who individual importers are. Today, you can be an importer, I can also be an importer. And so it was just in order that we met the union groups, and of course, GUTA had its members present. The issues were raised to them, but their major concern was that they used second-hand products that they were importing were more durable than even the brand new ones that were coming in. And of course, these assertions can be made only because you don't have regulations setting the minimum performance standard. So anyone at all can travel to Europe or China and go and bring brand new products which are substandard. And that is what everybody must bear in mind. Let's not take position to say we are just the used ones are not coming. We are saying even the brand new ones which do not meet the minimum energy performance standard will not be allowed into the country. And this was the assertion GUTA made.
So indulge me, Hubert, indulge me, please. I'm happy you touched on the fact that we have advanced in terms of technology. And I'm happy that you also touched on some of the things that they themselves have raised, that some of the things that they bring in have a higher quality than some of the brand new ones on the market. And I can attest to it that there are some electrical appliances that I have bought that have served me better than a brand new one that I bought. But that aside, what prevents the Energy Commission from conducting another survey to check out what is on the market? I ask this because there are occasions you might see some televisions that may have come in as other store rejects or may have come in as second hand. You go to a shop where they are selling brand new television sets, for example, and you see the same thing in the shop, packaged well in the shop. So why don't we do another survey just to have a clear conscience as to whether they are importing the wrong ones or the right ones?
Well, just to be fair, that is exactly what we have done. The law is setting the minimum energy performance of appliances. And so, as a regulator, we are not taking positions. We are saying that anyone, or that is what the law is saying, anyone who deals in these electrical appliances and intends to sell them in the Ghanaian market must make sure that he brings a performance test report on the product to indicate that they meet the minimum performance standard. And the law is very clear on what the provisions are. Regulation 1 talks about the purpose of the regulation. Regulation 3 talks about the duty to comply with the minimum energy performance standard. And Regulation 4 is what prohibits appliances that do not meet the minimum energy performance standard.
If you say the importer should bring a certificate or something that will prove that it meets the standards, how do that importer get this? And I'm asking this because I'm having at the back of my mind the law that you keep quoting. Is it the law based on the survey done some 18 years ago, 2003, or a new law that is applying now?
Well, I don't want to go out and be talking about 18 years ago. I mean, even today, if you just check online, there are available literature on the effects of substandard.
Mr. Sosan, you would agree with me that over the years there has been some improvement in some of the things they bring in. Exactly. So if we all agree on that, then there should be a concern or a worry with a survey conducted some years ago.
So exactly. So we are saying the only way to prove that is to provide the technical documentation. Ghana Standards Authority have come up with the standards. Energy Commission has adapted the standards and come up with the regulation. The regulation is saying that any product coming into the country must meet the minimum energy performance standard. So the onus is on the importer who is bringing in these products into the country to submit it. And you see, this is nothing new. If I am producing drugs in this country, or I'm about to import drugs, I need to get clearance from the Food and Drugs Authority.
Mr. Sen, I hear you. Hold on for me. So what he's saying is that although there's a ban, there's a small window of opportunity for you dealers and your importers to be able to still bring in some of these products if they meet the required standards. What is a big deal?
Thank you, sir. Then what's the meaning of the ban? And not
no, some of the thing does not meet the required standards. But that's why I'm saying that according to what Mr. Nsozan is saying, they've given you a room to operate. So if you believe that the things that you are bringing in, be it store rejects or second hand, but they meet the required standards. And I read something to you a while ago, where from 2005 we have started enforcing the minimum energy performance. And like he said, the labeling, the yellow thing that we have there. If you think that the things that you are bringing in meets these requirements and you have certification from the Standards Authority, you are good to go. So why don't you make sure that the things that you are bringing in meets the standards that is being talked about?
Well, the whole question is, let me ask one question. Do you think...
Can you answer my question before you ask a question, please?
I'm answering the question with my question. Do you think Europe will produce gadgets that will be substandard than our standards?
They will not, but it depends on who is bringing what in. If I may, it depends on who is bringing what in. If what you are bringing in is what is being used in Europe and it meets the standards in Europe, Mr. Nsozan is telling you that you don't have a problem.
So, are you telling me that the assets or the gadgets that we bring from Europe, we are not regulated?
I know when it gets to the ports, there are some checks that are done again.
No, even there, that we are loading the container, we are regulated there. Because they wouldn't allow you to bring some stuffs.
Oh, but get you a 9 no. That's one of the items you bring in. And they don't even use them. You pack them at your warehouses or your shops.
Let me give you some circumstances.
Please do.
We were to bring, we rejected about 1,000 pieces of Etcopo, which were new. That time we were selling some at very new in boss. But based on your standards that we've all left there, they told us that we can't even bring it to Africa.
So there are regulations even outside there where you're bringing the things in. But Dr. Yeboah, don't they have a point too?
I'm from Pong.
Sorry.
Yes, you see, we are talking about standards. He made mention of, do you think that Europe and their standard, that the product they are producing, if you can't seem to meet the standard? Yes, they produce the thing over there. That's why I started with the foundation. They produce the product over there. But the product goes to a home, is being used. There's a lifespan for every product.
We heard about initially. Let me ask this question. Do you agree, Dr. Frimpong, that some of the things that you bring in, not all of them, I cannot vouch for everything. And Mr. Nsozan, I'll come to you shortly. Please hold the line for me. Thank you very much. You will agree with me that some of the things that they sell, that we term as second hand, are close to new. What they're selling by the roadside, you can find same thing, same brand, same everything in a brand new shop.
Yes. Okay. So for us in Ghana standards or standards everywhere, we deal with what? Documentation. That's the key. You can't come and claim that my product is what durable or is more quality than somebody. When we have. That's why they said they normally check even over there before the product comes. We have third-party inspection bodies like the Intratech and those things over there. So when they are able to test their product over there, and they bring the certificate of analysis or the certificate of conformity, and it comes, and we are able to compare this certificate with the product that comes, and the product meets the standard, we release it.
So which means it's not a total ban on second-hand products.
I heard the assistant manager Hubert saying that it's in phases. So if the product comes and it can meet that the labeling is also another. If it can meet that, aside the quality things.
And that is why I'm
Why
asking.
not?
That's why I'm asking you guys. Then what is the big deal? That if you believe in what you're bringing in, get the right testing done, get the right documentation, and then clear your goods.
That's all.
We could do that, but the phrase they used was banned. That means
So have you tried to do what they're saying now? What they're saying that, listen, let it meet the standards required, and then we'll release your products to you. Have you tried that?
We've not tried that.
Okay.
But the whole thing is the band that they are using. We are in a country that when something is ready to pop up, and you don't fight for your freedom, or let's say some regulations on your side, at the long run, the ban will be a seizure. It will be a total ban.
No, you haven't. Forgive me, you haven't tried this.
No.
So we cannot conclude on this. And I want to ask a question of, what do you call it, Dr. Frimpong here. I think Mr. Nzozan touched on it briefly. There are cases you might even go to a store, buy a brand new gadget. Within the day, it gets damaged. And yet it's been cleared saying that it has met the standard. How is that possible?
Okay. So for new products.
Yes.
Yeah. So the product goes through when there's production, it goes through phases, and tests are done. The test was done, and it maybe passed. The product gets to the port. It's going to be cleared. The inspectors over there cannot do 100% sampling. By all means, they will pick some at random. It could even mean that those products didn't go through the testing.
Why?
You can't do 100% sampling.
So it doesn't apply to them too?
It does.
No, so it applies to them too.
Yes.
You can
So
do
we
100% sampling.
So we do sampling. When you are doing sampling, you can't say that you are
I
testing.
agree with you perfectly. So
Yes.
what I'm saying is that to conclude and say that you're placing a ban when you cannot do a total 100% sampling, which of course is not possible.
It's scientific. We do scientific sampling.
I would like to speak to Collins, who is with me in the studio shortly. But Collins, hold on for me. Hubert, they have doubts. I was going to ask that they have doubts about what you mentioned, that when some of these items are brought in, some checks, some tests can be done. I wanted you to give them assurance for me on that. But Collins, let me hear you. So we all know what is happening right now. Tell us about how this is going to affect you, and probably, if possible, how many workers it might have. How many employers or employees it might affect. People who work for the employees.
Thank you, Dave. Greetings to your cherished listeners. I will start by saying they allow the Energy Commission per the list of band and their regulations. They allow personal effects in. But when you are an importer and you bring your goods, it is not allowed.
If I get you correctly, so let's say I've traveled out.
Yeah.
I use some appliances, my televisions and my stuff out there.
Yeah,
I'm coming back home and I'm bringing my television, my refrigerator back home to use. It's allowed.
Yeah.
But when you guys who are importers and dealers want to bring them home, then they say no.
We are not here.
Let me bring. It's the same thing. Let's say you produce something over here. You produce product over here, and then you produce and then you eat it yourself at home. We or Food and Drugs Authority have nothing to do with that. But the moment you produce the thing and you are going to sell,
But I have a problem, Doc. If 10 people bring such appliances back home from where they used to live, and we're talking about it being hazardous to the environment and to human health, and the person is bringing it in, I should be worried. You should be worried. Then it should apply to them too.
the product comes, is bringing it as its own. So
but he's going to use it. But he's going to use it.
It's going to be, but the risk is himself.
But the thing is in the environment, the thing is in the atmosphere.
It is,
if it's damaged, we still take it to a repairer, won't
And
you?
even the person we are selling to is also going to use it in his own.
no, but by law, you know, when the trade comes in, when trade comes in, then it goes into a different.
I hear you. Yes, sir. Collins, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. About there are university graduates, there are SHS leavers who are engaging in this business. We are not here to condemn the government policies. But you know one thing, Dave. There may be good policies from the government, but when the people are not in support, you should have a second thought.
It's not just about the people are not in support. Question I would ask based on what you just said, Collins. For those who import these things, how mindful are they of bringing in the right items or products that meet the standards of the country? You and I know that sometimes when you say container opened, whether around Bantama and Co, and the money we babble, you and I know. So if government is trying to put some regulation in that area, shouldn't we embrace it and applaud government for this?
That is our plea. Our plea. We are begging the government and the Energy Commission to regulate it for us.
When you say regulate, what do you mean by regulate?
I mean, about, you can say from 10 years, from 2010 or 2015, all the goods from 2015 are outmoded. But from 2015 upwards, you can bring it. That may be a better regulation for us.
Mr. Sosan, you're on the line. He's making a suggestion. What do you make of the suggestion he makes? He says a bit of regulation would be better for them.
Yes, so interestingly, I don't know what we have done which is different from what they are asking for. What we have come up with is the regulation to be able to regulate the market. Now, to be very scientific in your regulations, you need to set what we call the minimum energy performance standard. And the MEPS is an international tool that is used worldwide. Now, it doesn't discriminate. Whether your product is store reject or whatever, brand new, you need to meet a certain minimum performance standard. And my good friend in the studio from GSA said, every appliance has its lifespan. And so what they should remember is that before the items entered into the European market, it had to meet the minimum performance standard. China are the same countries that manufacture for the US and the UK and in Europe. However, you go there with what we call the standards. And so that those products are manufactured based on that.
Do you have a feeling this morning, Mr. Nsozan, that
you think it will meet the performance standard? We are saying provide the technical documentation. What the importers need to understand is that we are technically here to provide assistance between the importer and the manufacturer or the dealer who thinks that he can sell any substandard goods to a country which does not have regulations.
But let me ask this question. Do you have a feeling this morning, having heard them, Mr. Nsozan, do you have a feeling that you need to engage with them some more? Because it seems as if they don't understand what the ban means. They think it's a total ban. Now, this one I have learned from you that listen, if they can get the right documentation to prove that the things that you're importing are meeting the right standards.
Knowing what the regulation is talking about. And so we have also taken it upon ourselves, and that is why we are on this your reputable station, to be able to educate the members. Let's not take a position and say they have banned our used items. If your used items are substandard or do not meet the standards, yes, it is banned under Regulation 4. If the brand new dealers, Melcom, Hisense, name them, who are bringing in products do not meet the minimum performance standards, their products are also banned. And that is what Ghanaians need to understand, that people need to be responsible for the products they are bringing into the country. We should be able to let there be value for money for consumers who are saving so much to be able to buy appliances. You know, at the end of the day, it is not just about making profit. Now the regulations that they have asked for has come into place. We are regulating the market. We are going to transform the appliance market, and we are saying that dealers of these products should make sure that the products they are bringing in meets the minimum energy performance standards as prescribed by the Ghana Standards Authority.
If for whatever reason a product finds its way to the ports or the market that does not meet the standards, what happens?
Right, so the law is very clear on that, and it's important for me to just address this. You bear with me that there is a law, LI 1932, which bans the importation of used air conditioners and refrigerators. Yet, when you go into town, you find these appliances being sold. Question is, how are they coming into the country? It is rather unfortunate that I expect the executives here to talk to their members who are smuggling, and I'm using the word smuggling. How do you say you're a businessman and then you misdescribe goods, you evade tax at the port, and then you come into the market and say you are selling? Because the law does not make provision for us to come and take inventory of your items. And that is what we have done. We have made the law more.
What about people who are manning our ports? If they are allowing these things to come in, whether they are being bribed or whatever, can't we also look at them?
Exactly. That's why we are saying we have made the law more stringent to be able to take action, that even when the items leave the port and you are in the market selling them, you need to provide the necessary documentation. Otherwise, the law takes effect. And the law is that you are surcharged at a penalty unit of 125 penalty units, or a term of imprisonment of not less than 6 months, or even both. So we didn't have these all provisions in the old regulation. So this is making it more stringent, so that the idea is not that once I'm able to escape the port, I can come into the market and sell. The law is allowing us to conduct market surveillance. And
Mr. Sozan, hold on for me, Mr. Sozan. Colin, so you have heard Mr. Sozan, you have heard Dr. Frimpong here. My question is, it's not a total ban. And Mr. Sozan, before you take leave of us, I would like for you to give them assurances that, listen, it's not indeed a total ban, but if they are able to get their documentations right to tell you or prove that they meet the standards, then they will clear their stuff. But Charlie, it's not a total ban, is it? So what's your cry about?
this will not be a total ban. But you know, if you say you should bring the report, how many people can bring the report whilst they go, an importer go and buy the goods one after the other? They are not in bulk. How many people can bring the report you are talking about? And afterwards, this, I think, maybe in my own opinion, can lead to corruption. You can approve for one person when he pays for you, but you will not approve for other person if you get me right. You will not approve for the other.
But if again we are checking it ourselves, if the right things are being done at the ports, we're all doing the right things, this will not happen. But let me go to Mr. Sozan. And Mr. Zan, so we're talking about documentation here. We're talking about making sure that the second-hand items they bring in should meet the required standards. How do they go about it?
Yes, so what is required is that they need to take the items to a third-party accredited laboratory, test them according to the schedules in the regulation, which is in the second schedule. Now, once that is done, a test report will be provided for those products, and then they will bring the report to the Energy Commission for approval. They need this approval.
Is that to say they have to go to, let's say, the Energy Commission, or they go to any other laboratory for this to be done?
Yes, so because the items are being imported, they need to do that before it comes into the country. However, there's alternative where the Ghana Standards Authority have testing laboratories to be able to test the products after it has arrived in the country as well.
If I understand you, they need to test. They need to test. They need to do the testing from the place of purchase, bring the documentation or the certification before they bring the goods
from the
to
country
Ghana.
of origin through the third-party accredited laboratory. So, you know, this is the analogy they are crying that we cannot get the test as well. So how then do you make that conclusion that your used product is more efficient than a new one? This is the only means to be able to verify that. And as I said, MEPS is an international tool that is used worldwide. And so when they go back to where they are picking the items from UK, Belgium, Germany, they should tell them that there is a new regime in Ghana, that standards and labeling has been passed as a law. Ghana is saying that before they ship these items into the country, they need to meet the performance. And they will hear what their people will tell them.
So let me throw the next question back to Mr. Eboa here, because what I'm hearing is this. Like Mr. Sozan is saying, do the testing out there. You could have done the testing out there, it might have passed and met the standards. It comes back here to Ghana, and we're told that what, it doesn't meet the standards. Is that what we've been told?
No, you see, I think Mr. Sozan mentioned accredited laboratory.
Okay.
When we use the word accredited laboratory, it means the laboratory is performing by certain standards. We call it ISO 7.
Have you made those laboratories available for these businessmen?
You see, you are bringing. That's why I said do the test up there before coming. So we have a third-party agent. We have Intratech and all those things. So the moment you load your container over there, you can call them. They will come and then do the sampling, and then test your product for you, and then issue you with the certificate of analysis.
If they have the certificate, or you are given the certificate from them, do you still need to do some more testing?
Once it passes, if it
passes from there, it passes. You are safe.
And that's why it's accredited laboratory. It means the report is accepted.
For me, from all that I have heard so far, we all have the interest of the country and the citizens and the environment at heart. That's what we're looking at now.
Sure.
So, from the Ghana Standards Authority and then the Energy Commission, all you're saying is, listen, we just don't want to make Ghana a dumping site. So we're not saying that it's a total ban on second-hand products. All we're saying is that if it's a microwave oven, if it's a used television, if it's a used refrigerator, make sure that it meets the required standards. So go there and let the testing be done for you, and then you ship it to Ghana, and then you can sell. So there's not a ban on second-hand products usage, electricals.
And there's another window whereby maybe you couldn't do it over there, maybe because of time or something. You bring the product here, but bear in mind, you bring it here, it will take some time. You bring the product here, Ghana Standards Authority can also do the test for you at a fee.
Okay.
If it passes, then that's where then your product can be cleared.
Malik, sorry. In fact, per their regulations, they are not talking only about the standard or the testing, but per what they say even if you bring in, you should bring 2022 model. That's what they say. I don't know whether if Mr. Zan is.
No, I'm not hearing. I haven't heard anything about 2022.
Yeah, it is in their release.
Okay.
Per the standard they are talking about.
It should be 2022.
It should be 2022.
So 2021 is not accepted.
Yeah.
Mr. Sosan, is Mr. Sosan on the line? I'm told he's not. He's on. Mr. Sosan, in your press release, in your communique, well, unfortunately we don't have Mr. Sosan on the line. But listen, our time is really far spent. But if you look at the average Ghanaian, how many of us can buy brand new,
which is 2022 model,
brand new, electrical appliances? Only a few can buy.
You can even use car. We don't say you should bring the new model, the model. All that we are saying is that you should meet the minimum standard.
You see, you made.
Listen, you can join us now on 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. Have you gotten the right information from this conversation? Are there issues you still need answers to? The fact that initially we thought it was a total ban on the importation of second-hand items, now we're being told that it should meet the minimum requirements. I mean, I think it's a fair deal, isn't it? Kofi, let's hear you. Good morning, Kofi. Kofi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Kofi.
David, don't be fascinated because the EPA has said that provided it meets the standard. What standard are they talking about? Look, something has been produced 2021. We are in 2023, and we are saying that cannot meet the required standard. What kind of required standard again do they want? Do we produce TV?
Did you hear them also say that do the checks? Do we produce them say do the checks? If it meets the standard, the minimum standard, we would accept it.
Something is produced 2021, and we are in 2023. How can we say that it does not meet?
Let the importer do the right checks, get the right documentation or certification, and then he's good to go. I'll be worried if somebody comes and says to me that, okay, this is a 2021 product, it has met the required minimum standard, and yet I'm told not to bring it in. Then we have a cause to complain. But thank you very much, Kofi, for the contribution. Nana Kweku, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm well.
I'm glad this is proper. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is, the law, which year was it passed? Around 2003 or 2005, right? You see, it beholds on the importers who and then get knowledge about the thing you're doing. They should have, rather than sitting down and waiting that the law wouldn't be implemented or was something that they made a mistake. Moving forward, as in the industry that I was in, I can tell you, products that we used to bring in and we are bringing in right now meet a required standard. You cannot bring it into Semaphore, into BC. And those products, we have to go pay sometimes even $40,000 to get those products tested sometimes in South Africa or in China. NCA just required just four people that can do the test, run the test for you. South Africa, and there's some companies in China that they have to run those tests for us. And then before we bring in, and I'm talking about set-top box, the other day is doing. So the standard, it's there. mutate, you can bring in your product. It's time we stop cutting corners. As an importer, if you want to go and bring in the product, go buy a product, get the people to run a test for you, even if it's 20 to 15 products, and it meets the required or minimum standards. Some standards are not that stringent. They just they come and do the test for you, and then once you run it, then it meets the standards as required now.
Well, thank you very much, Anakweko, for joining us as well. 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. We're talking about a similar ban on some, I now would say some, of the used electrical appliances. Christoph, good morning.
Hello, good morning, David. I hope you are fine.
I am well, Chris. Good to have you on the show. Let's hear you.
Good. David, I think the Energy Commission, what they are saying, it's not far from right. David, if you and I know that in this country, people who can't afford such amounts to buy new fridges and all that, it's overwhelming. David, now a good freezer, a good fridge, it's not less than 3,000 Ghana cedis. David, how many people in Ghana can afford that? We are not saying what they are saying is not correct. It's true. But David, look, we have to find a way of going around this whole thing because it will keep people out of business. Yes, we know this thing they brought. Some of them are not good. They put strain and drain on our lighting system, and so they even pay more light bills and all that. But David, how many people here can get 3,000 to buy a new fridge?
I thank you very much for joining us, Christoph. There, Charles. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, David.
Charles, welcome. Let's hear you, sir.
Thank you, David. My question is to the man from I don't know. Is it Ghana Standards Board?
Standards Authority.
Ghana Standards Authority. Is he really sure the law doesn't say they ban second-hand goods? I think it's just semantics. They talking about the minimum standards, but really, what's the law saying? If it's not a ban on second-hand goods, how are they going to get their second-hand goods certified as a product that can be that meets their minimum required standards? I don't really get it. I think this ban is just playing semantics with them meeting the minimum required standards.
Thank you very much, Charles. But again, like I said a while ago, let's test the system. If somebody tries to import something that meets the standards and they say no, and the person has documentation, then we can peruse it. That's what I would say. But I've got Edu on the line. Hi, Mr. Edu. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. This discussion is quite a sensitive one, but my is on some of the new products that are on the market. Look, I've been to China before, and I know how the market works there. I know people who go there, and they intentionally buy. When you go to buy from China, they have grades. They will tell you this is the best grade, this is the second. I know people who intentionally import the lowest grade, and then they come to Ghana and they tell us that new products are not good.
To be fair, the lower or the lowest grades has standards that it's supposed to meet, and for all you know, it hasn't met it.
But you see, a lot of these products that are on the market that people buy brand new that are not good, most of them are these products, and they find their way into the market even though the standard is below what should be here. A lot of them manage to find their way onto our market.
I hear you.
And I don't understand. It's only in Ghana that a product that somebody has used is better than the new one because we don't bring in the quality new ones.
I agree with you, because even when it comes to spare parts for vehicles, it's the same thing. Yeah. You see a brand new spare part, you buy it, well, you go and buy home use one, it's actually better. I mean, this country. George, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Welcome, sir. Let's hear you.
David, how many people can walk into the store and buy a brand new refrigerator in this country? How many? So, David, they must take things into consideration. Why is it not that when the goods are brought in, where they are discharged, the standard board must be there to verify goods that are standard? They will take them to the store, and goods that are not of standard, they seize them and destroy them. David, I bought a brand new radio, brand new in the store. Wanted to use battery. It was in the box. They tested it for me. When I came home and I opened where to put the battery, the springs were not there. One spring wasn't there. When I sent it back, they said they'll not take it. So David, I don't know. It's all the same. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. So Dr. Frimpong, you've heard George, and it's very true. I mean, what he's narrating or sharing with us is very true. Let's speak to our very final caller. Mami Uga.
I didn't finish my submission. He took me off.
So when you come back, mention your real name. Don't change your name.
David, I bought a refrigerator before the Sofoline interchange was constructed around Sofoline North in Kelso. David, I'm still using it. Fridge master. Who told you that all what they brought outside another bed? It's over 15 years. I'm still using that same fridge. So we are saying that sometimes the used ones are even better and qualitative in nature than the brand new we are talking about. So we should have a way of looking at it. Not all what they brought are not the best. Some are very good and durable, and they can last long. Mine is over 15 years, and I'm still using it. Thank you very much.
Doc.
So the thing is that we are not disputing. You see, these things we've been hearing them. Oh, the second hand I use my is more than the new one. I've used my.
It's true,
there.
But it's true.
But so all that we are saying is that those are claims. As Ghana Standards Authority or at an institution like that, we work with documents. So bring the certificate that shows that the product that you are bringing, it meets the minimum standard. And then you are good to go. And somebody mentioned about low grade, high grade. In standard, when we say standard, that's why I always mention the word minimum. It should meet the minimum standard. You can't say that this is the highest.
I hear you. Abrimpong is on the line as well. Abrimpong, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Hey, sir.
Okay, so one thing we should all be thinking about is we say that the second-hand use are quality, but then we don't think about the consumption. Sometimes you might have a fridge that has worked for over 15 years or for 5 years, but you can't check. You realize that the consumption, especially fridges, the more they get old, the more they consume more electricity. So we're not just talking about how long it lasts, but sometimes the things that they import here, they've been discarded in Europe because day in, day out, they try to change things that and they try to bring things that are more eco-friendly, that are more friendly to their environment. And so when they see that these things are taking more power, they bring it down here. And because we don't check those stats, and so people complain, American stats or things that are from Europe are good, but then we don't tend to check about its consumption too. So we should also take a look at that one too.
Thank you very much, Abrimpong. Bafo is on the line. Bafo, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you, Bafo.
Well, this is what I think. I think Kofi Bajumba had a very good point. He was asking a very good point, and if you have allowed him to land, he was asking, do we manufacture any of these products in this country? No, we don't. So the standards that we have developed, where did we develop them from? So maybe we are saying that these same companies who develop or manufacture these items, it is their standards that perhaps we have incorporated into our standards to use here. So yes, I'm not for some products that are very, very, very old. I think there should be a cap on some of these products. There are some products that are very, very old and you cannot even use them. They come here and people dump them in drains and all that. But there are very fine, fantastic products that we have coming in from Europe and other countries that I think we should allow for our people to use.
Thank you very much. Our final caller, I think it's in Kofi Danso. Hi, Kofi.
Yeah.
Danso, let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning. You see, there's one interesting thing. All the government agencies are using the laws that are, constitute them to worry us. There are a lot of fake products in the market all over, as if we don't have borders, as if they don't go through checks. Then the very people at the various body, border posts, these very government agencies, when you go to Tema now, you go to Takoradi now, before they clear your goods, their agents are all over to check through. When they allow the goods to come to the main market, then all of a sudden, the internal offices also start going through to check and worry people. As a matter of fact, the plain truth is that they only collect money. None of this. Now, there are a lot of home use products, electrical home use products. These agencies, they only collect money. Why are they worrying us like that?
Thank you very much, Kofi Dan. So, but like I said, per the conversation we've had this morning, it's obvious that it is not a total ban. If you are an importer, you can bring in these electrical appliances, second-hand, old, used, whatever, but make sure it meets the minimum standard required. Get the test done either in South Africa or China, wherever. Make sure that you have the right documentation, and they can bring it in. For me, if somebody has all these documentations and the person is prevented from bringing them in, then there's cause to worry. But I still have a problem with the Ghana Standards Authority. You go to the shops where they're supposed to sell brand new things that they have warranty. Auto brand new, I did coffee. Listen to some of the voice notes that have come through. Well, what she's saying, the truth, absolute truth, nothing but the truth. Take a listen to this other voice note. Well, I hear you, Isaac. Thank you very much. And let me get a final word to you, Mr. Obiabua.
My final word and my final question goes to my...
very quickly, please.
My doctor, you said when I bring my goods to the harbour, I can test it there.
Yeah.
What time band have you given me? And two, when my container is going to demurrage, would you be in the position to take me out of the demurrage when your work is not yet done?
Okay, thank you. So that's why we give the chance that you can go through our third party, Intratech, outside, so that you do the test before coming, bringing the product down. But here is the case, maybe you were not able to do that. I don't know, whatever the case may be. And then you came to Ghana. Even for not doing it and bring the product down to Ghana, there's a penalty you pay.
That means that it's a ban.
It's not a ban.
That means
that's the procedure.
The whole thing is you have the mandate to test it for clarification's sake.
Yes.
So you have to be part of it to test it. So if I forge you a document that I've tested the things and I've not done it, how will you know? But when you are part of it,
you will know. But the documentation, we're going to Intratech or not, have
that's why we have
confirmation lab. Thank you very much, guys. But I think we'll find a way to have a part 2 of this conversation. You guys still have issues, that have not been touched on yet, and listeners also have issues, because even the brand new ones, if you say you are in a way placing a ban on the importation of these second-hand ones, except for those who can prove that it meets the minimum standards, the brand new ones on the market is also creating problems. You heard George, when he bought a radio, wanted to use battery, the space for the battery was not available there. He goes back to the show, they say they will not take it. Who's protecting us?
So at such a thing, you contact us.
But you allowed the thing to come in the first place. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow next, right at 11 in the morning. Thank you very much for doing the listening. We'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 in a bit. Where today we're going to have a pensioner join us to tell us about how much he earns from the pension, how much he spends in a month, and what this bond issue is going to affect him. That will be coming up your way shortly on Joy 99.7. Please stay with us.